Zarnok Station was loud, dirty, and full of strange smells. Aliens from across the galaxy gathered there to trade, buy, or sell anything: machines, weapons, rare animals, and sometimes people. Deep inside the lower levels of the station, a secret auction was taking place. The air was thick, and the lights flickered. Guards with stun guns stood at every corner, watching the buyers. Captain Jace Thorne, a human smuggler, stood at the back of the dark room. He wore an old black jacket, a laser pistol on his belt, and a tired look on his face. He wasn't looking for anything special. He was just passing through. But something about this auction made him stay. A short green alien with 4 arms stood on the stage and shouted, "Next up, a rare creature, royal blood but useless now, blind, weak, and broken." Guards dragged a small figure onto the stage. It was a female alien, thin and quiet, with gray skin and no eyes. She had long silver hair that hung like a curtain around her face. Her clothes were torn and dirty. A metal collar blinked on her neck. "Once a Varelian princess," the auctioneer laughed. "Now just trash with a title. No mind powers, no sight, and look at that face. Hideous." The crowd laughed. Some even booed. Jace didn't laugh. He frowned. He had heard stories about the Varelians. Once a powerful and peaceful race. They had psychic powers and ruled with wisdom. But their planet was attacked, and many were killed or sold. Now they were nearly extinct. He looked closer at the girl. She didn't move or speak, but her head was held straight, not low. She didn't cry. She stood with quiet pride. "No bidders?" the auctioneer said. "Come on, someone take this thing off my hands." Jace stepped forward. "I'll take her." The crowd turned. Some laughed again. "Human, you sure?" the auctioneer said. "She's useless." "I said I'll take her," Jace repeated, tossing a credit chip. The auctioneer shrugged. "Sold! To the human idiot!" The guards unchained the girl and pushed her forward. She stumbled but caught herself. Jace stepped up and gently took her arm. "You're safe now," he said quietly. She turned her head toward him, and then he heard a voice, not out loud, but inside his mind. "You feel warm," the voice said, "like sunlight." Jace blinked. "You're still psychic?" The girl gave the smallest nod. "Very weak, but I heard you. Thank you." Back on his ship, the Starhopper, Jace brought her to a small, clean room. It had a soft bed, warm lights, and some old music playing in the background. "This is yours now," he said. "You're free here, no collars, no orders." She sat slowly on the bed, touching the soft blanket with careful fingers. "I don't understand," she said, her voice soft and strange. "Why? Help me." Jace leaned against the wall. "Because no one else would." She turned her head toward the sound of his voice. "You want something?" "No. Just company, maybe." She smiled. Her face was strange, with small ridges and smooth skin, but the smile made her look gentle. "You are strange, for a human." He laughed a little. "I get that a lot." Over the next few days, Jace learned more about her. She didn't want to say her real name. She said she was no longer worthy of it. So he asked, "Can I call you something?" She nodded. He thought for a moment. "How about Sira? It means light in Old Earth tongue." She smiled again. "Yes, I like it." Sira learned fast. Though blind, she could feel where everything was. She said the ship had a heartbeat. A soft hum she followed to find her way. She never asked for much. She listened to Jace talk about Earth, about stars, about the time he stole a crate of singing worms from a pirate lord. She laughed at that one. Her laugh was soft, like wind chimes. Jace gave her simple clothes and a small translator device that helped her speak clearer. In return, she helped him sense danger before it happened. Once, when a pirate ship followed them, she warned him, before their scanners even picked it up. "You're not useless," Jace said one evening. You're powerful. Just healing. Sierra touched her chest. You make me feel whole again. One night, Jace brought her a bowl of ice cream. He had saved it for a special moment. What is this? She asked, touching the cold surface. Try it, Jace said, grinning. She took a bite. Her eyes, though blind, widened. Sweet, cold, soft, like stars melting. Jace laughed. That's the best ice cream review I've ever heard. She reached for another spoonful. Earth food is wonderful. But everything changed when Sierra suddenly sat up in the middle of the night, shaking. What's wrong? Jace asked. Rushing in, her voice echoed in his mind again. A signal. I felt it. A Varelian signal, hidden for years, now awake. Jace looked serious. You mean someone else like you? She nodded. A place calling me, my people may be alive. Jace put a hand on her shoulder. Then let's go find them. She turned her face toward him. You would take me there? Of course, he said. I bought you for one reason. She tilted her head. What reason? He smiled. To give you back what they stole. Your life. Sierra's hands trembled. I don't know if I'm ready, Jace answered, gently. Then I'll be your eyes, until you are. The Starhopper flew quietly through space. Stars blinked outside the window like tiny candles. Inside the ship, Captain Jace Thorne sat in the pilot seat, checking maps and signal scanners. Behind him, Sierra stood still, her head tilted slightly. Her white hair flowed like soft threads, and her skin glowed faintly under the control room lights. Jace looked back. You sure about this signal? Sierra nodded. It was clear. A Varelian code. A message I haven't heard in years. Jace leaned forward. Can you tell what it said? Only one word, she said in his mind. Home. They traveled for days, passing asteroid fields and old mining outposts. Sierra spent most of her time learning. She listened to old Earth music, tried strange foods, and even helped fix a broken part of the ship using her psychic senses. One evening, Jace found her in the engine room. She was sitting on the floor, cross-legged, with small tools around her. What are you doing? He asked. She smiled without turning. Listening. This ship speaks, he chuckled. Yeah? What's it saying? It says you're a terrible mechanic, she replied softly. Jace laughed. Ouch! Sierra reached out and placed her hand on a broken panel. But it also says you care, that you try. Her voice wasn't just soft, it was kind. Jace noticed how different she was now. When he first bought her, she was quiet and unsure. Now she smiled more. She spoke more. She laughed. Later, over a shared dinner, Jace gave her a small round device. What is this? She asked. It's a translator chip. Upgraded, he said. You won't need to speak in my mind all the time. Sierra held it like it was made of gold. For me? Yeah. Thought it'd help you talk freely. She pressed it to her throat. A soft beep sounded. Then, for the first time, she spoke out loud. Thank you, she said. Her voice was smooth but clear now, like music. I like hearing myself again. Jace grinned. Me too. You sound pretty. Sierra turned away, but he saw the tips of her ears change color. A blush. One day, as they neared the edge of the asteroid belt where the signal came from, something strange happened. The ship's alarms beeped. Proximity alert, Jace muttered. We've got company. He checked the screen. A small pirate vessel was behind them, fast and armed. They've been following us, Sierra said calmly. You felt them before I did? Jace asked. Yes, she said. They hate light. They smell like oil and fear. Jace fired the thrusters and took a sharp turn. The pirate ship followed. They want you, Jace said. I know. The chase was fast. Jace dodged through sharp rocks and spinning metal chunks. Sierra stood by. Her mind stretched out. She pointed just before each attack came, guiding him like she could see every move. At the last second, Jace flew straight toward a thick asteroid wall. The pirates followed, not realizing. Boom! An old mine exploded near the rocks. The pirates were caught in the blast and lost control. Jace and Sira escaped into silence. "You okay?" he asked. "Yes," she said, breathing slowly. "But there will be more." Finally, they reached the source of the signal, a giant asteroid floating behind Saturn's rings. From the outside, it looked dead. But Sira raised her hand and whispered a soundless word. A hidden door opened in the rock. Jace flew the ship inside. What they saw made them both quiet. It was an ancient Varelian base, covered in dust and vines, but still glowing with soft blue light. The air was breathable. The walls hummed with forgotten energy, and deep inside, voices called out. "Sira?" A deep voice echoed. "Is it truly you?" A small group of aliens stepped forward. They looked like Sira. Same gray skin, same blind faces. But older. Tired. Some had broken arms or scars. An old woman touched Sira's cheek. "We thought you were dead." Sira touched her hand. "I thought you all were gone." They hugged her. Jace stepped back, giving them space. "These are my people," Sira said. One of the elders spoke. "We never stopped hoping. This base was our last light. We sent the signal, praying you'd hear it." Sira nodded. "I heard, and I brought help." She turned toward Jace. He raised a hand. "Hi." The Varelians looked surprised. "A human." Sira smiled. "He saved me. He gave me back my name." That night, they sat in a circle telling stories. Jace listened quietly as Sira explained everything, how he found her, how she started to feel again, how he brought her here. "Why did you help her?" one of the elders asked him. Jace shrugged. "Because someone had to." Sira's voice was strong. "No, not just someone, him." The elders looked at each other. "Then he is no longer just an outsider. He is one of us." Jace felt strange. He was never part of any family, but now, sitting here, it felt good. Later, Sira asked him to follow her. They walked through an old hallway into a small room filled with ancient tech. In the center was a clear table with a glowing device. "What's this?" Jace asked. "A gift," she said. "For me?" "No," she smiled. "For me, from you." She touched the table. A soft hum filled the air. "This is a neural vision implant," she explained. "Old tech, made only for our kind, but it needs parts. Human parts." Jace stepped forward, pulled out a small box, and smiled. "You mean like this?" Sira gasped. "How?" "Stole it from a junk trader months ago. Kept it in case I found a use. Looks like today's the day." She stepped close. "You brought me across the stars. Saved my life. Brought me home. And now, you give me back my sight?" Jace smiled softly. "Let's just say I like surprising you." With help from the elders, the device was installed. Sira lay still as blue light flashed. For minutes, there was only silence. Then, her eyes opened, real, glowing silver eyes. She blinked. Her breath caught. Her fingers reached out and touched Jace's face. I see you," she whispered. Jace froze. "You can really see?" Sira nodded, tears falling from her shining eyes. "You're more beautiful than I imagined." Jace scratched his head, blushing. "Well, I didn't brush my hair." Sira laughed, and the sound filled the room like music. The next morning, Jace found her standing at the balcony, staring at the stars. "Feels strange?" he asked. "Yes," she said. "But right." She turned to him. "You gave me more than sight, Jace. You gave me back everything." He smiled. "Just doing my job." "No," she said. You're not just a captain anymore. You're my light." Jace looked at her glowing eyes and smiled. "Then let's go find more places to shine." The Varelian base inside the asteroid was now alive with light. Soft blue energy flowed through the walls. Machines that had been quiet for years were working again. The surviving Varelians walked the halls with hope in their steps, and Sira, once broken and blind, now walked like a true princess, her silver eyes glowing, her back straight, her heart strong. Captain Jace Thorne watched her from the control room window. He smiled as she helped repair old systems and guided her people. She was a leader now, not because she had to be, but because she chose to be. She was meant for this, Jace whispered to himself, but not everything was peaceful. Later that day, Jace sat with Sira in a quiet garden inside the base. The garden had strange glowing plants and a small pond with fish that floated in the air. "You seem different," Jace said. "I feel different," Sira replied. "This place is waking something inside me. My powers are stronger here." "Is that a good thing?" he asked. Sira looked into the pond. "I don't know, but something is coming. I feel watched." Jace sat up straighter. "Pirates?" "No. Worse." That night, the warning came. A deep alarm echoed through the halls. The ground shook. Red lights flashed. Jace ran to the main hall where Sira and the other Varelians were already gathered. "What is it?" he asked. Sira pointed to the large screen. "A ship, big, Empire class." Jace's face turned hard. "The Galactic Bounty Guild." They had come for Sira. The guild ship was large and dark, shaped like a dagger. It blocked the asteroid's exit. Messages began to appear on their screens. "Turn over the fugitive royal or be destroyed. Virelians are forbidden by order of the High Council." "This is your only warning." The Virelians began to panic. Some ran. Some cried. Sira stood still. "No," she said. "We will not run again." She turned to Jace. "Help me." He nodded. "Always." Sira gathered the elders and led them to the central chamber. There, hidden deep beneath the floor, was something even Jace hadn't seen before. A massive golden door. "Sealed for centuries. What is this?" Jace asked. "Our last defense," Sira said. With her glowing hand, she pressed on the door. Blue lines spread across the surface. The door opened with a heavy hiss. Inside was a hangar filled with ancient Varelian war machines, ships shaped like birds, floating drones, and armored suits. "This is a palace," Jace whispered. "A hidden fortress." Sira smiled. "Not hidden anymore." The Varelians quickly began preparing for battle. Sira connected her mind to the machines, teaching others how to do the same. Jace helped organize the defenses. Time was short. We can't win a space fight," Jace said. "That guild ship is huge." Sira touched his arm. "Then we must outsmart them." As the enemy approached, Sira walked to the center of the base. She closed her eyes and reached out with her mind. Jace watched her float off the ground, her body surrounded by light. One by one, the Varelians connected their thoughts to hers. A mind bond stronger than any old weapon. The machines around them began to move. Drones lifted, shields turned on, cannons aimed. Sira opened her eyes. Let them come. The guild ship fired first. A bright beam slammed into the asteroid's outer wall, but the ancient shield held. Then the Varelians attacked. Drones swarmed out like a cloud of fireflies. Ships launched from hidden ports. Cannons fired beams of light that curved like snakes. Jace jumped into a small fighter and joined the fight. In the middle of it all, Sira stood in the control room, guiding every move with her mind. She could see every ship, feel every enemy thought, and block their attacks before they came. But the enemy was strong. Too strong. Inside the fight, Jace's ship was hit. He lost control and crashed into a hangar on the enemy ship. He climbed out, coughing. grabbing his pistol. Enemy soldiers ran toward him. He ducked behind crates, fired back, and tried to reach the control room. Meanwhile, Sira felt Jace's pain in her mind. He's hurt. He's inside their ship. She focused harder, using her full power to protect the others while searching for him across the void. Jace made it to the enemy bridge. The captain, a tall red alien with black armor, stood at the control panel. "You must be the human," the captain said. "Give me the girl and I'll let you live." Jace pointed his pistol. "She's not a girl anymore, she's a queen." He fired. The fight was fast and brutal. Jace was strong, but the enemy was stronger. He fell, bleeding, and then everything stopped. The enemy froze. The lights flickered. Sira had entered the captain's mind. "You will not hurt him," her voice thundered inside the ship. The captain dropped his weapon, screaming in pain. His guards collapsed. Sira's power swept through the ship like a storm. Jace coughed, trying to stand. "Sira?" A beam of light filled the room, and she appeared, glowing, floating, surrounded by swirling energy. "You saved me," he whispered. "And I always will," she said. Back on the asteroid base, the guild ship retreated. The battle was over. The Varelians had won. Not with numbers, not with ships, but with unity, power, and heart. Later, Jace sat on the balcony again, his arm in a sling. Sira stood beside him, looking out at the stars. "You almost died," she said quietly. "But I didn't," he smiled. "You saved me," she turned to him. "And now, I must make a choice." He nodded. "Yeah, I figured. You know what's coming?" "You're going to stay," Jace said. "Be their queen. Lead them. Rebuild your people." She was silent. He smiled sadly. "You were never mine to keep." Sira took his hand. "But you are part of me now? I want to give you something." "You already gave me more than I ever expected," Jace said. "No," she whispered. "This is something new." She handed him a small crystal cube. He touched it, and a vision flashed in his mind. A ship, silver and gold, built with human and Varelian tech, designed for two. "It's real?" he asked. "Yes," she said. "It's being built. For you. For us." Jace stared at her. "Why?" "Because you gave me light, you gave me freedom, and now I want to explore the stars with you. Not as a princess, but as your equal." The hidden Varelian base inside the giant asteroid hummed with renewed life. Ancient machines now roared softly, lights glowed bright, and hope filled the air. Sira had become a true leader, guiding her people with steady hands and a brave heart. But even as they prepared for peace, dark clouds gathered on the horizon. Jace stood beside Sira in the command room. They watched the screens, scanning for threats. The message they expected had arrived. A massive ship loomed on the sensors. An enormous black cruiser of the Galactic Bounty Guild. Its hull was cold and menacing, shaped like a dagger slicing the void. The guild was relentless and cruel, hunting those they considered outlaws. The message blinked on the main screen, cold and clear. "Turn over the fugitive royal or face total destruction." Sira's silver eyes narrowed. "They want me dead." Jace's jaw clenched. "Not on my watch." The guild ship moved closer, blocking the asteroid's exit. The base's defense systems powered up with buzzing sounds. Drones lifted from hidden bays, their weapons glowing. Ancient war machines awoke from their long sleep. "We must prepare," Sira said. "We cannot let them take us." The Varelians, once broken and lost, stood tall. They loaded weapons and prepared shields. Jace checked the engines of his fighter, ready for battle. But Sira knew the fight wouldn't be easy. The guild's ship was massive, armed with powerful lasers and shields. A direct fight meant death. She paced the room, thinking. "We need a plan, something they don't expect." Jace watched her, then said, "You have your mind powers. Can you use them on the guild's ship? Maybe confuse them?" Sierra's lips curved into a small smile. Yes, but it will drain me. Jace stepped forward. Then I'll protect you. She looked at him, touched his arm. Together. As the Guild's cruiser fired its first blast, the asteroid shook. A bright beam slammed into the outer wall, but the ancient shields held firm. Sierra closed her eyes and reached out with her mind. She sent waves of psychic energy toward the enemy ship, trying to disrupt their systems. The Guild's crew gasped as strange visions filled their minds. Machines slowed, weapons misfired, and confusion spread. Jace took this chance. He flew his fighter out of the base and toward the enemy ship. His mission was clear: board the cruiser and take out the captain. Inside the Guild ship, Jace fought, his way through narrow corridors filled with hostile guards. He ducked behind crates, fired his pistol, and used every trick he knew. His heart pounded. He could feel Sierra's mind guiding him, warning him of danger before it came. Finally, he reached the captain's bridge. The captain was a tall alien with red eyes and black armor. He sneered at Jace. "You think you can stop me?" he hissed. "Give me the princess or die." Jace aimed his pistol. "She's not just a princess. She's a queen. And she's coming for you." The fight was quick and brutal. Jace dodged a blow, fired, and pushed the captain back. But the captain was strong and pulled a hidden weapon. Jace fell to the floor, bleeding. At that moment, Sierra's power exploded. Her mind reached into the captain's thoughts. She saw his fear and anger. Then she took control. The captain's eyes went wide. He screamed silently as Sierra's will took over. Guards stopped moving, weapons dropped. Sierra appeared on the ship's screen, glowing with light. "Leave this place," she said, "or be destroyed." The Guild ship's engines faltered. The captain, now under Sierra's control, ordered retreat. Jace struggled to stand as his vision blurred. Then he saw Sierra, shining brighter than ever. "You saved me," he whispered. "And I always will," she said. Back on the asteroid base, the Varelians cheered softly. The battle was won, but the cost was high. Many machines were damaged, and Jace was hurt badly. Sierra went to his side, holding his hand. "You are brave," Jace smiled weakly. "You are stronger." Days later, the base was quiet again. The Varelians repaired their home, but Sierra's heart was heavy. She knew the fight was not over. "We have enemies everywhere," she said to Jace. "The Guild is only the beginning." Jace nodded. "Then we fight. Together." Sierra looked into his eyes. "You risk everything for me." Jace smiled. "Because you are worth it." The time came for Sierra to choose. She stood before her people, crowned with ancient jewels. Her silver eyes shone with power and hope. Jace watched from the crowd, feeling proud and sad. After the ceremony, Sierra found him. "I have something for you," she said, holding a small box. Jace opened it. Inside was a tiny model of a starship, sleek, silver and gold. "It's being built for us," she said. "A ship for two, to explore the stars together." Jace's eyes widened. "You mean—" "Yes, you saved me. Now I want to be by your side," he smiled. "Then let's make the stars our home." The two stood together, ready to face the future, a human and a queen, united by trust, strength, and a surprise that changed everything. The rebuilt Varelian homeworld glowed softly under the light of twin suns. Giant green forests stretched across the land. Floating palaces shimmered in the sky. Birds with glowing feathers sang songs unknown to human ears. This was a new beginning. The center of the capital stood a grand palace made of crystal and metal. Its towers reached high, shining like stars. Today was the day of Sierra's coronation as High Queen of the Varelians. Inside the palace, Jace Thorne paced nervously. He wore a simple black suit, too plain for the occasion, but it was all he had. He wasn't a royal. He was a smuggler and a rogue. Yet here he was, waiting for the queen he once bought at an auction. "Are you ready?" a voice asked behind him. Sira stepped forward, her silver eyes bright, her gown shimmering like moonlight. She looked both strong and gentle. "As ready as I'll ever be," Jace smiled. "You belong here?" She shook her head. "I belong wherever I choose to be." The ceremony was beautiful. The Varelian people bowed as Sira took her place on the throne. Elders spoke words of hope and unity. Jace watched with pride as she accepted her new role with grace. After the ceremony, Sira found Jace in a quiet hall. She smiled warmly. "Thank you for everything." Jace shrugged. "I only did what felt right." She stepped closer. "I want to give you something." He raised an eyebrow. "I'm not royalty." She took his hand. "You are more than that." In front of the gathered crowd, Sira knelt down. She held out a small, glowing crystal. "Jace Thorn," she said, "will you accept the title of Royal Heartbond, Protector and Soulmate of the Varelian people?" The crowd gasped. Some whispered in surprise. Jace's face turned red. "I don't know what to say." Sira smiled. "Say yes." He nodded. "Yes." The crystal glowed brighter and wrapped around Jace's wrist like a bracelet. A soft hum filled the room. Sira and Jace felt a new bond form between them, strong and deep. "This is our future," Sira said. "Together." Jace looked into her shining eyes and smiled. Together. Later, they walked to the palace balcony. Stars shone above like diamonds scattered on black velvet. Sira looked at the sky. "We have so much to see, so much to learn." Jace took her hand. "And a ship waiting for us." She laughed softly. "The second sight," he grinned. "Built for 2 explorers, human and Varelian." The ship was a marvel. Sleek silver and gold metal glistened under the stars. Inside, human technology, blended perfectly with Varelian design. Rooms glowed with soft light, and controls hummed smoothly. Sira ran her fingers over the consoles. "It feels alive," Jace smiled. "Just like us." They stepped inside and took their seats. The engines purred. The ship lifted from the planet, rising into the sky. As they flew into space, Sira rested her head on Jace's shoulder. "Thank you," she whispered, "for seeing me when no one else did." Jace kissed her forehead. "You were never ugly. You were always light." Together they soared among the stars, ready to face new adventures, new friends, and new challenges. The galaxy had never seen anything like them before. A human and a Varelian queen, united by hope, love, and a surprise that changed everything.